What's up with the vet fam? So I had begged the question that was asked to me earlier this week, which was if your pay has doubled, would you stay in vet med? The caveat being all the toxicity side doesn't change, it stays the same. So would you stay if your pay doubled? So let's go with if you make $20 an hour, you now make $40. I paused when I thought about it and I'm like, and then I had to do some thinking. And I'm very open with my issues. Um, I suffer from, I'm high functioning anxiety girl with also, good old depression and a razzle dazzle of a couple other things, right? And I'm very open about it. And I didn't start dealing with it until I left veterinary medicine because I had a mental breakdown with vet med and being burnout and just the worst, right? The place that shall not be named was literally the most toxic thing I had ever gone through. I'd gone through some pretty fucked up shit. So, like, I thought about it, and all I could think of was getting back into that mental state, but having the paycheck that would quote unquote be that. Amber shaking her head, and I was like, no, I wouldn't do it. Not for $40 an hour, not for $50 an hour, $100 an hour. You may get me because that'll also help pay for more therapy sessions.
Valid.
And it's just if I went back to the situation I was in, but had the paycheck to go with it, I still would have. So, I just went back to the darkest days of veterinary medicine and thought, would my paycheck be there? And like and at the place that shall not be named, I made the most I ever made at in veterinary medicine, and it wasn't worth it. I now make significantly less. Still, I've yet to truly come close to my paycheck in vet med compared to what I make now. So, Amber, you are also shaking your head no.
No.
So what your thoughts are pretty much aligning with mine.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
you're still in vet med. You're still in that
I am unfortunately still in vet med. And listen, when I say unfortunately, I loved what I do. I love the patients. My staff from, both organizations that I work with are fantastic. They're phenomenal. I just don't love the field anymore. And the stress and the drama and the bullshit and the toxicity that comes with it. If my boss were to come to me tomorrow and tell me I will double your pay, but nothing's going to change, that's a no for me. I still don't want to do it, and I'm still looking for a way out. Like I love all three of my bosses, but like the bullshit, dude, on a daily basis, it sucks the life out of me to where even if I made extra money, I don't have the energy to spend it. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to nobody because of the shit that we go through in our field. Like money doesn't
And
buy.
we're not even talking. And I was gonna say, guys, like to and I would say at this point with our viewers, it's probably split across the board on if they're in veterinary medicine or they're friends with us and they watch it and support us, right? You guys don't understand that aren't in veterinary medicine, and I'm gonna put in the human side into this little caveat as well. It's not always the clients that is what we're talking about. It is inside the culture. It's inside. It is the culture of veterinary medicine from the ground up and up and down. Shit falls downhill, whatever, and yeah, the cherry on top is then the evil clients that come in, the Karens. That's literally just the cherry on top or the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like that's that small part. The majority of the issues is inside veterinary medicine. And I am a huge advocate now of talking about mental health, talking about compassion fatigue, talking about a toxic workplace environment and doing better. Like you don't realize until you step away how many triggers you have to deal with the things that come in on a daily basis from your coworkers, from your boss, from your management team, and you don't realize it until you're like, why do I feel triggered right now? Oh yeah, because, a year ago where I was at, this was going on and I had to act like this and I had to put myself in this position to be an advocate for my team and advocate for the patient and an advocate for this and you're just getting belittled and put down and put into these situations that you should never have been put into. So, rant aside, this might be a pretty short podcast because we're like, fuck that med. Sorry, Grandma.
Right. It's not to just throw it up there, but I love you, Grandma.
Love you, Grandma. I had to take you. Sorry about the swearing. We'll keep it on the lower side because, like, honestly, I've yet to meet someone who's been in vet med after a couple of years and been truly happy. And I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they exist, but it's not from the outside in.
Yeah, we were those people who truly enjoyed what we did. I mean, I ate, slept, breath. I can't even talk today, but it was my entire life, dude. I was always taking CEs and studying and researching and, putting my best foot forward at work and working with the doctors. And we did cases of the week and I wanted to go to vet school and this, that, and the other. But after being in this field for so long, it's like done. Like my body and my brain cannot take anymore. I have no more fight left in me for vet med. And God love my boss because Dr. Brooke, I love you. She does. She is a ball of fire right now about what's happening to our industry, about, certain generations of, new graduates and things like that and their expectations for the workforce and whatnot. She's on fire. And she's trying to pep me up and get me on fire with her. And I was like, I got bail money.
We're too tired.
Yeah. And and you're right.
We're tired.
It's not just the clients. It's not the patients. It's the culture.
I would say honestly, I would put the clients at 25% of the problem.
Yeah. And if you think about
25%.
Yeah, you've got other variables to consider about what we don't get paid. What benefit packages are not available to us? Does anybody ever truly get to retire and not have to work once they leave veterinary medicine? Unless they are a DBM. So we give their entire lives to this field, our bodies, our minds, our mental health, everything, sacrifice families, relationships, and whatnot. But what does it give us at the end of the day, other than that satisfaction, that gratification to watch those 4 poles walk out the door, wings, whatever it is you treat, I don't know, snakes slither out the door, I don't know. But to watch your patients go home, like that for me, I remember that. But the rest of it,
and I was gonna say, I was like that. Then comes down to the individual and what they can handle, right? And like, it's not a weakness if you walk away from veterinary medicine because you can't. It's no place, regardless of what profession you go into, is worth your mental health.
Nope.
It's not.
Or your physical health.
It's not.
Nope.
Or your physical health. Exactly. Like, I can't tell you how happy my body is that I'm not a veterinary technician on the floor. Even now I get asked, would you go back? Dr. Martin asked me the other day when we were talking about something. She's like, oh, wouldn't you go back? And I was like, not to be a tech on the floor. Honestly, if I could find a niche where I could be the staff advocacy and help in that regards, I would contemplate going back if I could be in that section. But again, that section doesn't exist.
Exactly. And it should.
It doesn't exist because you're not just being an advocate for the assistants, the technicians, the receptionists. You're not just being like, yeah, they need X, Y, and Z. It's okay. Where's the mental health side of the things? Why are you talking that? It's that you need that side too. But they don't have it in the human side either.
Yep. No.
You have to find it yourself. And there's a huge shortage for good therapists out there, speaking from experience, because they are overwhelmed by the amount of people that need to be seen and treated.
Yeah, because mental health is not seen as a taboo thing anymore. It's okay to not be okay, and it's being more and more recognized. And the way that the world is changing and the people are more in touch with their emotions and their feelings and things like that, mental health is something that is more regarded as important, that it's actually being seen. People are being heard. There's mental conditions that are actually being acknowledged. They're being researched and things like that. Where back in the day, put some dirt on it and keep going.
You don't. You don't talk about that. And that's how I was raised. You don't talk about feelings. That's how I was raised. And it did happy, sad. You don't talk about that. So, and I had someone reach out when I had posed this question, and it also made me think, because she wasn't wrong. And Candy, huge shout out for you reaching out on this. She said that we all need to listen to our little inner voice, right? And someone else had brought up, to the overthinkers that try to diminish that inner voice, you're in conflict with yourself, right? Your intuition, your inner voice, whatever, is trying to lead you towards a certain way, right? And she's like, and if it tells you to leave, you have to leave because there's a reason. reason may not be known for X amount of years down the road, but if you feel it's time to go, you really need to take pause and see, why are you trying to talk yourself out of it if the thought is already there,
I resonate with
right?
you.
Exactly. And this is stuff I've been out of vet med going on 5 years now, right? And it that made me think, like, if I hadn't had the mental breakdown that I had had and turned to somebody that I knew would give me the honest feedback at that time, and she posed a similar question, which was, why are you giving up your morals for a place like this? You know what I mean? And it was like that same thought process, right, that I went down through today, which was, why are you arguing with your intuition if it's telling you to leave? Because clearly there's a reason. You know what I mean? And so, like, how many of us that struggle with dealing with being in vet med and being treated the way that we're treated, excuse me, and dealing with the hypocrisy of certain bosses and management and things like that, and not being heard and not being seen as an advocate for your team and your patients, and you're ignoring that voice that says, why am I doing this? Because now I'm suffering even more. And is it worth it? And
Damn
it
sure.
shouldn't be worth it. Yeah, and it's not worth the paycheck, even if it was doubled.
Even if it was doubled.
Would I pause at $100 an hour? I'm not gonna lie, I would, because given the state of the grocery store.
But realistically, in our field, is that going to happen?
Realistic, it wouldn't happen. No. What she said gave me the same thought process, that I was given during the time that I needed it. Like, why are you trying to out talk yourself out of something that you know is right for you?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
if you came to this podcast thinking we're going to tell you to stay, unfortunately, this episode is not for you.
No, it's not for you. No, because we're gonna be like, listen, you gotta do what makes you happy, something else. But listen, I will forever love veterinary medicine, but dude, it takes a toll on you. I mean,
It
and
does.
it's not that we are bad talking the profession. We're just giving you
No.
real details and real experiences and things that have happened, and it's crazy. Like, we both had mental breakdowns at the place that shall not be named. We
And
both did.
and oh, 100%. And the thing is that, you and I come from a place where we have had, and you still have, amazing bosses, right?
Yeah.
Like, and even under them, we felt the toll of compassion fatigue,
Yeah.
burnout, and everything like that. And it's not saying that it always comes from the bosses, it always comes from management, like,
No.
we both have come from the flips of both sides of the coins, right? We both have come, and you still have the amazing side of it, but we have also seen the worst, and there's far more worse sides of that coin out there than there are good coins.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just I don't even have a word for it. Like, bullshit. Okay, it's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Okay. But like
Yeah.
you said, you have that inner voice telling you it's time to go. And at what point do you listen to that inner voice?
And how
What
many times do you talk yourself out of it?
exactly what gets you to that point? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I got this little feral that sits on my shoulder every day and just, what are you doing? You can't do this
No.
anymore. He gets a flick every now and then. They're like, back the fuck up, but he's right. Because as a veterinary professional, whether you're a technician, you're a doctor, whatever, but mostly this is geared towards your technicians, right? So you are in fight or flight all the time. Your nervous system is upregulated
Yeah.
all the time. And for those of us that have been in vet med, that have been in ER, that have been in specialty, that have been in, crazy GP stuff, I don't think that there's a night that you don't take work home with you, unless you're one of these newer generations. Not saying that you don't, but us old school veterinary technicians take a lot home with us. So we never get to
Yeah.
gear. Never. Your body is in constant uproar all the time. I'm not saying that about that. That doesn't happen in any other profession. I'm not. We're not talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
those
No, it
companies.
does.
We're
Yeah.
talking about ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we don't
Yeah.
reap the benefits of that. We take those cases home and we stress about them. And not only are we stressing about those cases, we're stressing about our paychecks and how we're going to make our bills, how we're going to make ends meet, how we're going to take care of the things that we need to take care of, our medical insurance and shit like that. Like, it's a double-edged, serrated sword, like, constantly.
Well, and I'm going to say, like, how often do you dream about work? when you're home, like in your Betty Bye? How
Depends.
often do you have dreams? So like you have like, and this isn't a rhetorical question for the people out there that are listening. You know, if when I was in vet med, I would have dreams, and it would be something as simple as pumps going off, right? Like you hear a pump going off, you're gonna go and turn it off. You know, you're in the clinic doing treatments on the pet, X, Y, and Z, or you know what I mean? Like you have those dreams. I haven't had a dream about my work since I left them. And
Get
I listen to phones ringing off the hook constantly, bereavement from family members, staff, whatever, and I'm just like, meh. I've yet to have a dream about the place that I'm at now. And for people that, if this is your first time watching, I went to the human side. I'm a glorified receptionist now. I'm bored out of my mind, but I don't take work home for me. You know, the worst thing that happens to me is I have to walk people through how to do a fax, how to send a fax. That's the worst thing that I have to do, is to talk somebody through how to send a fax, because it is a brand new day and we are asking these people to take care of us if we're sick. And it boggles my mind that I have to tell them repeatedly how to do a fax. Rant over on that one. But, you know, I don't.
in their defense, okay, I can get an EKG machine to work. I can get a heart to restart, but I'm gonna have to ask my staff every day, hey, can you scan this in for me? Can you scan that email?
Amber, Amber.
I get a laser. I can work with that stupid ass Cubex, but don't ask me to scan something and tell it to myself.
You shouldn't have told me that,
There
because
are
I can
days,
do all those things still too.
there are days I can do it, but there's some days to where there's just a block, and I'm like, can't do damn work right now. Oh man, yeah. Don't judge
So
me,
yeah, guys,
okay?
the times I can't tell you how badly I am judging you right now, because I just went on this little rant about working a fax machine and you can't scan.
Sometimes it's all.
No, it's not, Amber. It is the same process every time. It's just like it's the same process of getting an EKG.
Well, I like getting EKGs. Man, I don't like scanning, so maybe there's a mental block. I don't know. But
Okay.
yeah, no, yeah. But anywho, so that's a no for
Yeah,
me.
guys.
Okay, and I'm still gonna.
And and I even put myself back in that situation where I fully decided that it was time for me to leave, right? I put myself back to that night that I knew it was time to leave that med and to get my plan rolling. And I would have been like, what would I have done if, the effectuad that was our manager came up to me and said, you weren't the manager. You were never my manager, Amber.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah, no,
I
no, no.
saw I
It's
saw
like an
your face. I was like, you were never my manager.
no. I was doing a paycheck. I know I wasn't your manager.
And I would have been like, if he would have come up to me that night and said, I would offer you, we're gonna stick to the $20 range, right? Like that's easy math right now, and be like, I'll pay you $40 an hour, and starting tomorrow. And I was like, okay, so where I was at, sobbing on the phone, knowing it was time to leave, would I have left if they said $40 an hour? Yeah, yeah. I put myself back into that night, sitting in a car with Allie Dog next to me, sobbing on the phone about the case and everything else. And when that light, normally say when that, when you flip that light switch on, when that idea pops off, for me, it was turning that light switch off to veterinary medicine. Like it was like, okay, light switch went off. I was like, would I have flicked it back on at $40 an hour? Nope.
And see, I was in a similar situation where you were still my supervisor, and I put my notice in. I made a decision to leave the place that should not be named. I made a decision, and it was a pay cut. And I got vet wrapped to a fucking office chair and talked into staying. Do you remember that? I gave you my notice, and I put my
No, you
notice.
didn't give me. You did not give me your fucking notice.
Okay, I took you outside and told you I was leaving.
I was like, I never got a piece of paper. I never
No,
got
but
nothing. And then I told Martin, and then she told Libby, and then vet rep may have ensued. But this was all before I had my.
The practice owner was at that place within 15 minutes of me submitting my notice.
But you didn't submit it to me.
Joyce, it doesn't matter who I submitted the shit to. Okay? What matters is I was taking a pay cut to get out of that place.
Yeah, I pretty much said, I suffer, you suffer.
Yeah.
And I told you to leave. When I told you I was leaving, I told you to leave. or to
You
take my place. I gave you those options. And then you took my place. No, you didn't even take my place. You became the practice manager. Y'all
but
getting the tea now.
you left me. We had abandonment cheesecake and everything. You left me in the trenches as the supervisor of IM, and then I went up. You left
Yeah.
me. You asked me to
And you
stay,
gave
and
me a bottle, and you gave me a bottle of Jack, and we took a shot in my trunk at the end of my shift.
we
And we
did.
said, here we go.
So here we go. True story.
Here we go.
I promised you I would take care of Martin for as long as I could, and I broke that promise, unfortunately.
Yeah, but she's in Canada and happy now. She needed us to break those promises.
Yeah,
We all had our exit plan. I was the first domino to fall, and then we all got our exit plans.
yeah. But the moral of tonight's story is do not let money outweigh your mental health, your happiness, your stress levels. Yes, I understand we have to pay our bills and things like that. But we're not born to just work and die. And we're not born to work somewhere that we're going to be miserable and then we're going to hate, and that's going to filter into our personal life. It's going to destroy our relationships. It's going to destroy our friendships, families, things like that. Just tread lightly. Tread lightly. Money is not always the answer. Coming from
Money,
somebody.
they say, they always say money is the root of all things evil, but you need money to survive, right? So
Correct.
it's a double-edged sword, but I like to listen to it's the root of all things evil.
Yeah. So you got to take
and
care
it,
of
it
yourself.
took me a while.
Yeah. There's other ways to make money that are not so miserable. So find it. Did you just say OnlyFans?
Giving ideas.
It's true. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. But I'm going to tell you something. Some of my colleagues got some raggedy ass feet. Don't be putting them pictures on there.
I have really pretty feet.
She does. I will give her that much. She does.
I do. I got really pretty feet. I was going to be a foot model, and my mom said no because I was in high school.
Okay. Well, you know what? You can foot model now.
I can't.
I think.
I'm not flexible enough to show my feet.
This
You know what,
conversation
guys?
just-
Stick around. Stick around for the next one, guys. Oh, and this is me and Amber on a normal night. Y'all had us on a weird night last time. We
This
were
is
sick,
mine
both of us.
too. Anyway. But
All right, guys. Until next week. Bye.
make choices.
Yeah, please make good choices.